Good morning. It's the 9th of June 2017 and Theresa May's The Theresa May Party has just won a landslide victory, and finally we can begin the strong and stable government that so enamoured us to voters. So first things first, we need to make sure that the unemployed are made to work. Right, stop and search. There are demands from the police for the power to stop and search people on the street if they believe that individual... Well, absolutely. And if you've done nothing wrong, you've got nothing to fear. We still have a minor deficit though, which is not great. We need to get rid of that because, as every major economist will tell you, the best way to kickstart a country's economy is to cut spending entirely. As we're leaving the EU, we need to make sure that we get money coming in from somewhere, because trade is the cornerstone of society, which is exactly why we decided to leave the world's biggest trading bloc. Those people, the people in charge of these unions, they just don't understand that in order to make this country the strong and stable country we all know it can be, they have to work at least 72 hours a day, 370 days a year. Only then will we get rid of that deficit, and everyone will be healthy and active, and there'll be no strain on the health service anymore. These people, these spongers, as like some people call them students, I call them spongers. They expect to have everything paid for them, and they don't understand what it's like to live in the real world, so let's tax them. Thank God people didn't vote Labour in the last election. We'd have this coalition of chaos, even though Labour is only one party. I don't understand how there can be a coalition, and everyone seems to forget that the coalition of chaos was what people called a Conservative-led government, but oh well. Thank God we don't have them ruining the country by being fair and expecting people to have public services that you expect to have gratis in a developed country. Thank goodness the public said no to that. Freedom of information. No, the government needs to know everything about everyone. I would have thought that was obvious. Where's the health service? It's time we reduce this bloated waste of our time. We spend too much of our great British money sending aid overseas, when in reality that money will be better off spent in the UK on essential services like nuclear weapons and the bulk collection of personal data about innocent citizens. Now, the massive mandate of 4% in the EU vote tells me that the people of this country want us to stop anyone coming in, so let's make sure that no one can get into this great land. Many farmers voted to leave the EU, and that to me says that they clearly don't like the subsidies they get, so let's make sure that they don't get any. Now, thank God, now we're out of the EU, we can get rid of some of this ridiculous bureaucracy that's costing our country. Look at that, it's costing us hundreds of millions of pounds per year. That's money that would be better spent on the NHS. Speaking of the NHS. Oh, I can't do that yet, that's a shame. People have been entering the country illegally? People whose own countries have been blown up by our own bombs? How dare they? Get them out! Now, I've noticed that some citizens are sponging off the state when they're accused of a crime. Now, I think that is frankly disgusting, and as I always say, if you've done nothing wrong, you'll have nothing to fear. Don't thank me, thank Michael Gove. In order to make the economy strong and to make this country provide for itself, we need to dig up oil wherever we can find it, whether it's in wildlife reserves, in people's front rooms, or on a baby's foot. We need to make sure that all of this oil is extracted in any way possible. People who have worked hard their whole life deserve to have a comfortable retirement so that they can just enjoy their twilight years in peace. And if they've worked hard enough, then they'll be able to do that. Disability benefit? You really should have thought of that before you became disabled. It's high time these bloody scroungers got off their fat arses and started to help the country, just like me, Theresa May.